Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat. For anglers serious about inshore and offshore tournament fishing, we'll be taking a look at the Contender 25 Bay, a bay boat with an overall length of 25 feet 4 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and max horsepower rating of 400. Standout features on the Contender 25 Bay. If you want to be the first to the fishing hole, a double-stepped hull provides an upper edge. These steps reduce performance-robbing drag, which increases speed and efficiency. Having gear storage that allows for easy access means you'll be able to grab your favorite fishing tackle without hassle when you need it the most. A second station gives anglers a huge advantage when looking for fish that cruise just below the surface of the water or when scouting for structure offshore. When fitted with controls, the captain never has to leave the helm. If you want to bring the family to the offshore fishing grounds in comfort, we'll be looking at the NauticStar 28XS, a center console with an overall length of 28 feet 4 inches, a beam of 9 feet 8 inches, and max horsepower rating of 600. Standout features on the NauticStar 28XS. A versatile bow area with removable seating means that family has a comfortable place to relax and the fisherman on board has a secure place to cast. When fishing offshore, a high freeboard provides safety and security, helping to keep skippers from falling overboard and dry from salt spray when the seas kick up. Having a clear line of sight over the helm is of the utmost importance, ensuring a clear and unobstructed view when navigating in any conditions. For those who seek the ultimate in offshore capability and amenities, we'll be taking a look at the Seafox 328 Commander, a center console with an overall length of 32 feet, a beam of 10 feet 8 inches, and max horsepower rating of 700. Standout features on the Seafox 328 Commander. With extended trips a possibility, having a large bow seating area is a must. Here, passengers can face forward or aft while underway, or relax while they wait for the next strike. A built-in tackle center means you can bring all of your offshore fishing gear with you, organized and at the ready, instead of leaving it back at the dock. A dive door provides an easy way in and out of the boat, whether at the dock or diving the wrecks offshore. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they conduct walkthroughs and review key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
Welcome to this episode of Best Boat. I'm your host Dave East, along with my co-host Captain Rick Riles. We're going to look at 3 boats today.
We are, Dave, but starting with that 25 Contender, it's in the upper end of the bay boat range. I was really impressed with the ability, the sea-keeping ability of that boat, the way it ran in choppy water.
Well, the double-step hull, it helps the performance of it, but a bay boat in the 25-foot category, that boat is for guys that want to punch out a little bit offshore. I mean, yeah, you got to pick your day, but a lot of guys are taking their bay boats outside the inlet now. They're not just for staying inside the river. But let's just say that bay boat's not big enough, and you want to get a little bit further offshore. Maybe you want to go on days where the weather's not quite so great. That NauticStar 28 with that nice high freeboard, perfect boat.
I think they had the freeboard dialed in perfectly on that boat, and it's designed to take quite a few people, and it had the seating capacity to handle it.
Well, any mid-size center console like that, it's a little bit more of a commitment. But with that commitment, you get more range, you get more sea-keeping ability, but let's just say it's not enough. And you want to go further offshore. Maybe you want to cross the islands, maybe you want to go way out offshore in the Gulf, get into that big 32-foot Seafox. Now you've got a boat that can carry a lot more people. It's got a lot more range. You can take a lot heavier seas. Yes, it's a bigger commitment, but you know what? It's worth the price.
You know what I think? I think every guy that gets into that class, that 30-foot and above center console, he's had a day. You understand what I'm saying? That big tuna has melted his reel, or that blue marlin has showed up. Something's got him hooked to where he's got to be further out. We always want to be a little further out. And let me tell you something, that 32 Seafox will handle just about anything Mother Nature wants to throw at you. We got a lot of cool stuff to look at today, so let's get started.
When we come back, hosts Dave East and Rick Riles take a closer look at a boat built with the hardcore angler in mind, the Contender 25 Bay. This segment brought to you by Oceanic Gear. Wear the gear, catch the fish.
Whether you are offshore trolling or running the flats, Oceanic Gear is setting a new standard in performance fishing apparel. Our clothing has unmatched comfort, all-day sun protection, uncompromising durability, all at a price you can afford. We bring a unique look and feel to the game with vivid, colorful design. Whatever the species, whatever your style, we've got you covered. Oceanic Gear, Where the gear catch the fish.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they take a closer look at the Contender 25 Bay. Representing the 25 to 27 foot class in the bay boat category, the Contender 25 Bay has an overall length of 25 feet 4 inches, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 400. Designed to be the first to the fishing grounds, inshore and nearshore, she has a draft of 12 inches, a dead rise of 15.5 degrees, a dry weight of 2,300 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 90 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
One name in this industry that's synonymous with performance is Contender, and this 25 Bay is no different. They decided to go with a double step in the hull. Gives you better performance, less wetted surface, takes less horsepower to push it, and less gas at the end of the day.
There's a distinct ride to a Contender. If you've ridden in the 35, you've ridden in this little 25 like we have now, you know what it feels like. You don't know what it is, but you feel it when you throttle up.
Well, all I know is that you can tell a Contender owner from a long distance because its hat is backwards. I've never seen a Contender slow. They're always fast. There's very few boats you can really do that with. A lot of boats, as you try and go faster, the ride gets so rough, it just beats you to death. That's not the case in these hulls. These hulls can take the speed because they're designed for that.
The hulls are great. Let's break down what they did inside.
Starting up here at the bow, I've got a tow rail. Tells me when I'm at the edge, I don't have to look down. But the unique thing is the size of this hatch. We've seen a lot of storage on bows of bay boats, but it's only as good as what you can fit through the hatch as far as if you're gonna put a soft bag. With a hatch that size, you can put anything you want in there.
Below this hatch, okay, is long-term storage and short-term storage. You've actually got an area right below the hatch where you can grab a landing net or grab a gaff like that. There's no reaching down trying to find it. Below that, stuff you don't use every day. So let me tell you, they thought this out a long time and dialed it in really nicely.
Stepping down into the cockpit, you've got U-shaped bow seating up here. And what's unique about it is the fact that it's got the step that you and I both like. It's a great place for the family to sit because they've carried their combing bolster all the way around, which is going to give you good support here on your back, but you haven't sacrificed anything. You've got your rod boxes here, it's additional storage, but it hasn't taken up too much of the cockpit. Just as Contender decided to use a big hatch up on their bow so you can get things into it, they did the same thing on their console. This is something we haven't seen before. It's a big console, but they gave you a lot of access into it. This is a double door. You can move this cooler out of the way. It opens up. You can get in and out of there. You could put a hit in there if you wanted, but mainly if you want to store a lot of stuff in there, they've given you the means to do it.
Not only did they do that, but they gave you the ability to reach it. So often there's small access into the console and you've got to get down into it to reach something. They gave you the ability with these two doors to reach anything in there you need.
The first thing that caught my eye on this console has some form, it has some shape. It fits the boat. This is a racy looking boat anyway. On the trailer, it looks like it's doing 50 miles an hour. They put a console that matches the form of the boat. To me, it speaks volumes on the amount of time they spent designing this boat from scratch.
But you're right, the console is obviously Contender. The second you look at it, see this shade that goes over your electronics? When you're catching your brim, you can stand over here with your cane pole and still see them lily pads under your boat because it keeps the sun off your scope.
Well, I'm not a fish snob, so I don't care what I catch. As long as it's something pull on the line, it could be a brim, it could be a mahi, I don't care. I have equal amount of fun no matter what. Tell me about this second station. I know you're used to your big fly bridge and up there in your command center. This is as close as you're gonna get to it in a bay boat.
Knock it off. That is everything to me, okay? What are you gonna use this boat for inshore?
You're gonna be sight fishing if you're in shallow.
Bingo, hello. You can't imagine until you've done it how much visibility you gain by standing up here with that second station over being on the deck. You know what the second station is to this boat? What a polling platform is to a technical skiff. It gives you the ability to see.
Well, this rear casting platform, it's just the right size. Two guys can easily fish back here. You got another live well. It's got the clear lid that you like, storage, but little things. They put another hatch over the top of the splash well. A lot of boats, if you're not watching what you're doing and you step off, you're gonna step off in that splash well. They've put another hatch back here. Doesn't sound like a big deal until you spend a day up here and you don't step off in that splash well. It is a big deal.
And the twin jump seats are a big deal. Say you take your kids out, you need them to sit somewhere where they're safe. You don't have to worry about them running around the boat. These things aren't here till you need them. When you need them, all you gotta do is flip them up.
You've got a lot of functionality It's a fast boat. You've got great performance. It's a boat that you can fish inshore. It's a boat that you can fish offshore. The second station that you talked about, you put this whole package together. This one boat could do it all.
Look at it this way. It comes with outriggers. It comes with casting platforms. How can you say versatility better than that?
When we return, hosts Dave East and Rick Riles step aboard a boat designed to accommodate the whole family while in blue water, the NauticStar 28XS. This segment brought to you by Suzuki Marine, the ultimate four-stroke outboard. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they step aboard the NauticStar 28XS. Representing the 28 to 30 foot class in the center console category, the NauticStar 28XS has an overall length of 28 feet 4 inches, a beam of 9 feet 8 inches, and max horsepower rating of 600. Built for a comfortable ride for the family when venturing offshore, she has a draft of 20 inches, a dead rise of 20 degrees, a dry weight of 5,850 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 200 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
All right, this is the NauticStar 28XS. It's the flagship of the NauticStar line. And what I like about this size boat, if you've decided that you want to go offshore, you want to do offshore fishing, you want to clear that inlet, this boat is absolutely up to the task, but it's not so big that if you have to handle it by yourself that you can't.
This is near the top end of that family boat line, if you will. It's a great offshore boat, almost unlimited range. 200 gallons of fuel in this boat will take you a long, long ways, but it's not the level of commitment to where, like you say, it requires a crew to run it.
Nice high freeboards. You can take this boat out in some really, really rough stuff. We had it out in some pretty rough stuff earlier and the boat handled it beautifully, but yet it still has sports car handling. It doesn't have that big lumbering feel that we felt on so many other larger boats.
When we talk about a boat fishing bigger than it is, the higher freeboard, Dave, it gives you that feeling of being in a bigger boat. You feel like you're in an unlimited class boat here, but it's still a boat you can handle and manage. There's a lot to like about it, and it all starts up here in the bow.
It's a big pad, so it's a great place to sun for the family. You can remove the pad, and now you've got that casting platform that you're always looking for.
This bow is a Swiss Army knife of bows. You can do anything you need to do aboard a fishing boat, anything you need to do with the family, you can accomplish with the way they laid this out.
Well, the center section, it's actually a table. Obviously, you can raise it up. You want to use it for a picnic area. It's great for that. But if you remove these two sections, now you can walk all the way to the bow. So if you've got to get up there to the windlass and have to mess with the anchor, you don't have to get on your knees and climb across a cushion. You can walk right up to it. They take this area right here and they've made it multifunctional. Look at the freeboard. The more freeboard you have, the more sense of security of being in the boat. It keeps the water where it belongs, out there. It lets you get up here, lean against, fight a fish, or just feel secure. The more fiberglass you have around you, especially when the waves get big, the better you feel.
You'd be surprised, a day that doesn't feel rough to you feels a whole lot rougher if you're getting constantly pelted with salt water. Makes a lot of difference. It's the reason for a high freeboard boat.
So let's walk back here and look at this console, because I think they sized the console perfectly to this boat.
All right, stay with me now, Skippy. Let me tell you what I love about this NauticStar. The console height. We've seen bigger, more elaborate consoles look like a dressing room inside. But every time you raise the height of that console, you make it more difficult for the captain to see over, especially as he accelerates like he's going out the inlet. For me, the line of sight on this console, and yes, I know I'm short, but it's perfect. And it's perfect for most guys in a medium size range.
Whether you're sitting or whether you're standing, you can easily see over. And you know where that's important too when you're docking. You get into a situation where you're gonna pull up and dock. If you can't see that bow, it's really hard not to hit something with that bow.
Exactly.
Well, behind this console, NauticStar calls this their captain station. Let's take a look.
You wanna know why they call it the captain station?
Why?
You know where the freshwater washdown is? You know where the batteries are? You know where the bait is? You know where the tackle station is? You know where the drinks are? You name it, it's there. You talk about a maximum use of space, there is not a wasted inch in that entire area of the boat.
Well, when I walk back here, as impressed as we were with the front of the boat, I'm equally impressed back here. First thing I see, you've got two huge drains on each side. You've got 8 inches of drain. Let's just say you take some water over the bow. Let's say you pierce a wave going out a really rough inlet or something like that. This boat can evacuate the water like that. What they've done is they've taken everything into consideration. You've got a fold-out stern seat, you've got twin live wells, you have a transom door, you've got a toe kick to lock your feet under if you're gonna fight a big fish and feel real secure. You've got undergunner rod storage. Everything you would need back here in this really big cockpit, they've addressed.
There just isn't any wasted areas on this boat.
Well, I think you may have put it better earlier when you said this boat fishes much bigger than it is. It really does. It's 28 feet, but you've got the features that you normally find in a much, much bigger center console. They put it in a manageable size. That's a perfect fit for me.
When we come back, hosts Dave East and Rick Riles check out a boat built to handle a multitude of missions, the Seafox 328 Commander. This segment brought to you by Costa Del Mar. See what's out there. We do it all. Custom fiberglass repair, upholstery and canvas work, custom dash panels, specializing in insurance claims, Suzuki and Yamaha sales and service. We do it all. One-stop boat shop, home of fantastic plastics and the fiberglass shop. Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts Dave East and Rick Riles as they check out the Seafox 328 Commander. Representing the 31 to 53 foot class in the center console category, the Seafox 328 Commander has an overall length of 32 feet, a beam of 10 feet 8 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 700. Designed for virtually unlimited offshore range with amenities to accommodate everyone on board, she has a draft of 24 inches, a dead rise of 22.5 degrees, a dry weight of 8,975 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 311 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
Now we're going to take a look at the Seafox 328 Commander, and everywhere you look, there's a useful feature or function on this boat. It's incredible.
This boat has more sport fish qualities than it does center console qualities.
Well, that's what I was saying. I haven't thought of a thing that you would do in a boat this size that this boat wouldn't do, and not just do very well. Fishing deep water, fishing shallow water, diving, crossing the islands, taking the family out for just a dinner cruise. Let's look at the individual features that set this boat apart.
Okay, let's break it down.
Let's start up here at the bow. Look at the seating. You can face backwards, or the backrest flip up and you can face forwards. You've got additional seating here, so you can put a lot of people on the bow of this boat, and her displacement will take the weight of all these people up here. And not only just the seating, the amount of storage you have up under here. This is U-shaped seating under here. It's all storage. Underneath this lounge area, this lifts up and that's all storage. Check out the inside of this console.
Oh, you mean the AC?
Absolutely.
Son, that's cool air.
Well, you've got 3 steps leading down where you can easily get in and out of the console, even if it's rough. You've got a porcelain head down there, you've got a sink, a shower, you have a little berth. That's going to make a huge difference in the time that you can spend down inside this console.
That's what I meant when we were talking about compare this more to a sport fishing boat than you do a center console. For 95% of the center consoles you and I've done in the last 3-4 years, AC's been off the table.
Just those 2 little vents right there blowing AC out of the console. You've got misters built into the fiberglass hardtop. The combination of those 2 things right there is going to make it a nice, pleasant experience underneath this hardtop in the hot summertime. What Seafox was able to do with the beam just under 11 feet, they give you 3 helm chairs, and they centered the helm. This lets the captain be in the center of the console, and the 2 passengers can come up on either side. Everyone has protection behind the windscreen. They've angled the dash so the guy in the center driving can actually see the screens, doesn't have the glare.
Look at the tackle station drawers under here. Name the one place on the boat that never gets wet. Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Right here,
yes.
all right? I store my best lures in there. They're going to stay as dry as a bone.
This isn't a fiberglass hardtop. This is an engineered component to this boat. What I mean by that is They've got storage fore, they've got storage aft, your radio's built in, they even have a sunroof. I've never seen that in a hardtop. Well, I mean, it's actually kind of cool.
In case you need a little more sun while you're fishing.
Well, no, you can close it and it blocks the sun out. You've got built-in lighting. But the coolest thing I've seen, they have a hatch in the front that drops down to keep all of your Coast Guard stuff. It's right there, it's accessible, and it's out of the way, and it's out of the weather. You're not gonna go to use your fire extinguisher only to find that it rusted out.
Step back into my world. Look at this, all right? We have a cutting board, right? No, we don't. We flip it over, and you make sandwiches. But more importantly than that, check out the bait tray, okay? I can rig 2 dozen ballyhoo, lay them right here. Bait is done, and it's not sliding all over the boat.
Well, it's not only for the fishermen. What you just showed us, it's a great place to make a sandwich where you're gonna keep all your stuff and keep it on a cooler. You push a button, cooler comes out automatically behind you. A dive door, we've seen plenty of these. The way they've engineered this dive door, it opens all the way up and it stays in the open position with a magnet. So pull a big fish in, go in and out if you're diving or whatever, the door is completely out of the way. And there's no better way to get on and off the dock than through a side door.
For your live bait fishermen, all right? You need 500 greenies. How about a pressurized 60-gallon live well? You need a dozen blue runners, one right next to it. Why would you chase your blue runners around there? You'd never catch them.
Well, really quick, explain the difference of a pressurized live well and why you would want one like that.
Well, for example, it holds the water down, keeps it from sloshing so much so you don't end up with spillage over the side of your live well.
Okay, what are you gonna do with the bait when you get it offshore?
I'm gonna put a nose hook in a red hot sardine and drop him out behind my boat.
And if you catch a big fish,
I need a fish box.
you've got 2 of them and they are huge. You're always bragging about the big fish you catch. I'm gonna call these Rick-sized fish boxes because not only will they hold the fish, you can get in there and lay down and shut the lid. I'm serious, they're giant. But they even went so far as to put a smaller cooler right outside the dive door.
For
Look.
your fish, how nice.
Well, you can use it that way because if I'm gonna pull this boat up to the sandbar, I don't have to get back in to get a nice cool beverage. I can just lean inside with the door open and the cooler's right there.
This really is a lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? This is a major family commitment. It's a major commitment to tow it. It's a major commitment to purchase it. But if you're like me and you can't stay out of the blue water, man, do you need to look at this Seafox 328.
If you want more information on the 3 boats that you've seen today or any of the boats that we've tested this year in Best Boat, go to our website, floridasportsman.com.
Or we'll see you on next week's episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
When filming for Florida Sportsman Best Boat, the cast and crew docked and dined at Fort Pierce City Marina in Fort Pierce, Florida, featuring a full-service, state-of-the-art dock system within walking distance from excellent restaurants and historic downtown Fort Pierce. Each month, turn to Florida Sportsman for the best in boating and fishing coverage.